what could be the perfect answer that could be said in just a few lines but would create the most impact when answering this very stereotypical question? Tell me something about yourself. We start scratching our heads. In this video, I'm going to talk about the best way you can introduce yourself in the most precise and impactful way, whether you are at an interview, a social gathering, or even a personal date. In fact, I'm going to introduce you to a magic word that's going to radically change the way you answer this question for the better. My name is Rai. I'm a former media presenter and director, and on this channel, I break down all those things that help us communicate more confidently and create our own personal brand. In this video, I'm going to talk about a 5-step process which will break down your entire personality and existence step by step and then curate the best of everything that you are. What I need you to do first is draw 2 lines, one vertical and one horizontal. And that is going to create 4 different quadrants, right? Each quadrant will represent one aspect of your personality. So the first quadrant is going to be about your credentials, your degrees, your designations. With just a few words, fill up the first quadrant with all that you've achieved professionally and academically. The second quadrant is about your soft skills as a person. Now, when I was a hiring manager, more than most times I would get CVs that would have an entire paragraph about a whole lot of adjectives like I'm hardworking, I'm a team player. It was an entirely redundant paragraph because everybody would write the same thing. But in the second quadrant, I want you to think about yourself a little more specifically. What are those words that describe you the best? At one point in my life, I was working in Mumbai with a radio station. And when I was leaving Mumbai and leaving that organization, they threw me a very nice party. And one of those farewell gifts was a travel suitcase. I still have that travel suitcase. And they filled up the travel suitcase with post-it notes with everybody writing down what they thought about me. And they also even backed it up with little speeches and toasts. Very sweet of them. But it is only from those speeches and notes that I found out that integrity is one of the words that people described me by. Now, if I were to write down adjectives about me, this word integrity would have never come to me. So while filling up this second quadrant, you might want to ask your friends, family, former colleagues, or present colleagues what they think of you as in terms of adjectives. In the third quadrant of describing yourself, you have to put something that I'm calling geography, which means where are you from? You're going to write down the country you're from, the state you're from, the region you're from, maybe the city and the village you're from. You will write about the language you speak. You can mention your race, your ethnicity, or any belief system in particular that you might have. Any kind of cultural connection you have in this world. Now, you might think in a professional setting, this information is not relevant or it might backfire, but I will show you a way to make this work. And now, before I move to the final quadrant, it would be wonderful if you subscribe to this channel because this is a new channel and I would love to have you as a subscriber. I'm calling this last quadrant the charity. And our instant and first thought is like, oh my God, I've never donated anywhere. I don't volunteer with an NGO. What am I going to write here? I'm going to give you 2 examples that's going to help you decide what you can write here. So let me start by talking about a young lady who used to tutor my daughter. One day she shared with me that her MBA course was almost about to get over and the campus interviews were about to begin. But she was worried that everybody in her class had so many years of work experience and she was fresh out of college. So how could she stand out? And I told her when companies go for campus interviews, what they are looking for is your personality, the content of your character. Remember how Martin Luther King said, one day I dream that everybody is going to be judged by the content of their character. So tell me how you go above and beyond as a human being. So after a lot of thought, she said, well, I do all the financial work for my family. Which pension plan my mom is going to invest in, how to save for my sister's student loans. I basically think about where and how we invest our money as a family. I said, that is wonderful. That is exactly what you should talk about. I mean, she didn't have to do it. She's not the parent, but she did it. Now, I will give you one more example before you can decide what you can pick and choose as one charitable thing that you have done. And this was way back in my childhood when I was in class 7. I went to this camp. In this camp, we also had a few blind students, and mountaineering and trekking and camping was a huge challenge for them. So we were asked to volunteer for them and help them out. And I volunteered. And although I was working with a blind person, it was eye-opening for me. I had to help him up and down every hill. I had to help him eat. I even had to help him write his diary at night. Similarly, if you've been in the board of committee members for your society, or if you've ever put together a club, if you've done something for your neighborhood, if you've put together a community event, all these things that you gave your time for that other people did not, then you can file it as charitable. All right, so that brings us to the end of all the 4 quadrants, and now I'm going to introduce you to the magic word that is going to tie it all together. First, imagine picking one information from every quadrant and talking about yourself. So you talk about, I passed out from this engineering college and I worked in this organization, in this department. Then you say, I think I'm hardworking and diligent. From the 3rd quadrant, you can say, I'm from India, I'm from this state, and this is the language I speak. And in the 4th quadrant, you can say, I feed stray dogs in my neighborhood. Although that is a controversial thing today, now you've got these 4 basic points straight out of the quadrant. What you need to do is add a magic word that is going to completely transform the way you present the same information. And that magic word is, drum rolls, because. It's a word you're familiar with, but now you are going to use it the most effective way that you've ever done. So instead of saying, I graduated from this engineering college, or I work in this organization in this position, you say, I took up this job because da da da. Similarly, people call me hardworking because. Now you might say, what am I going to do with the 3rd quadrant? I can't say I am a Maharashtrian because. No, but you can say something like, I love seafood because I'm from Goa. Or I love nature because I'm from Manali. So you just flip the because, but you can still use it. And from the 4th quadrant, the charitable quadrant, you can obviously say, I did this because I love this, or I saw a need. So now, simply by adding the word because, you are changing the entire visuals of what a person is seeing in you. I hope these tips actually helped you. If they did, please like and subscribe. It inspires me to get up, get going, and create one more video. So go ahead, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video, hopefully as a subscriber.